I mean, I like I feel really good. Whether I think it's imminent, I think it's going to be soon at least, and whether it's tomorrow or the next game or whatever it is, I'm happy with my body. I'm happy the way I feel, and really excited about where the team's at and how they're playing. So, yeah, excitement.
The fact that the team is leaning 2-1, is it giving you maybe the luxury of being more patient?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we were down 3-0, it would have been a different situation. So I think so. It does a little bit, but at the same time, when I'm healthy, I obviously want to get back, and it's not just to go back either. Like you probably need a couple of shifts or so to feel calm and whatnot. So it's obviously a little bit of a balance. It's not that I can sit here and wait for a clinching game in the Stanley Cup final, per se, or in the series to just jump in and be great. Like, it's going to be a process. So it's a bit of a balance of feeling good, maybe giving it time, but also knowing that time is maybe not of the essence at this point.
So you spoke the other day about how well the defense is playing without you. So whenever you do come in, how do you not screw this up?
Yeah, valid point. I mean, you look at Stetcher right now; he's playing unbelievable. John and all these guys have come in and they play really well. Stu obviously plays well too, so we'll add that extra pressure obviously, but at the same time, I mean, I knew that my injury wasn't going to be second round at all. I knew at the very, very, very earliest it was third round, and if you're in the third round, your team's not playing bad. There's nobody that's a passenger at that point, so that's nothing that is surprising to me. I'm more happy that the D-Corps has played really well and have been throughout the whole playoffs. And when and if it's not my decision at the end of the day, it's obviously the coach and the management. But if I do come in, it's just a matter of keeping it simple and trying to fit in. I mean, I've played with these guys for a bit, so I do not worry too much about that. But guys have been playing great, and I'm really happy to see how D-Corps has handled everything so far.
So what's your game? Would you be able to accept kind of a lesser role, or when you're in, do you want to kind of be, at your top and take the type of responsibilities and minutes that you're typically taking?
Well, that's also a question for the coaches, really. If you ask my head, then yes, absolutely, I'd want to be back where I usually am, but my body might have a different say of that, or at least it'll be some sort of a feeling process. But it's just the playoffs. It's the third round. It's going to be high stakes games wherever you are. It doesn't really matter if you do a game 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, every game is huge. So for me, I'm just trying to look at doing my part of getting healthy, and then obviously the team's done their part. So at that's been awesome, and yeah, that's kind of where my mindset at.
What's it been like to watch?
Tough. It's probably one of the tougher things I've gone through in my hockey career. I have never been hurt in the playoffs before, so having to go through this and knowing that it'd be a long stretch too has been. It's nerve-wracking. It's not fun, but the guys have, done such a tremendous job. It's almost been calmer as the playoffs have gone on here, so I'm okay with it now. I've gotten used to it, but it's nothing I want to really do anymore in my career. So.
Last year's run from being on the ice and being very close to things. You're watching this year's run from up top. What do you see different in your team?
That's a really hard question because I feel like you get I think anyone can play in the NHL from that level, the 500 level or up in there. It's the easiest place in the world to watch, and you're thinking, oh my God, why didn't you make that pass and this, that, and what? Yeah, and you're down on the ice. It's the best level in the world. So it's hard for me to tell, but I think that we are comfortable in our D zone and have an understanding that there could be a period, it could be 20 minutes, could be 40 minutes of a game where we just have to defend. We just got to not let in 3 goals per se. We just got to try to keep it at bay, or maybe let in 1, because we know we will get our chances. And I think that the patience of our game has really been there, and has been a factor in a lot of these games where we're helping out Stu when he needs it or picks, and then when we have time to take it to them, we really pounce on our opportunities and they're down. So I think there's been a really nice balance, so to speak, between offense and defense.
Is the play 5-on-5? Is the play 5-on-5 more effective in the past years?
I don't have the numbers. Maybe I say something now and you show me the numbers and it's completely opposite. I don't really know that at the top of my head, but I do think we've been pretty good at when we get the chances. I don't think there's been too many games, if any, where we've just bombarded a team and then we just lost it somehow. So, efficiency has been really good. I think he's playing the way I've always said that he is. He's really taken on the defensive role too, right? Like, he's always had the knack for offense, the knack for scoring, but I think that the way he's defending right now has been amazing. Even that Vegas series, I thought he was one of our better defensive defensemen, to be honest, in that series, and that tells you volumes about what the potential this kid has. Because I say potential where I think he's a top 3 defenseman in the world, but he's young and he's still growing and he's still understanding the game, and I think he can. I think that tells you a lot about the potential that he has of playing a complete two-way game.
Unreal. Felt like my first day in the league. It's tough being away from the team. Obviously, we're doing well. It's been great to watch. Skins has been doing a hell of a job too. I'm happy for him. Providing unreal goaltending, and it's been really good. So happy to be back with the guys, and looking forward to tomorrow.
We assumed that it was that hurdle collision that may have caused a lower body injury. You played that game, and then maybe take us through the next day or two, and you're like, wait a minute here, maybe something didn't quite.
Yeah, I knew right away when it happened. It wasn't great. Obviously, it was an awkward collision. You guys probably all saw it, but I was running on straight adrenaline there for the rest of the game. Obviously, a big win, and for the next, I think, 36 hours till that next morning skate before Game 3, I tried to fool my brain into being okay, and I came out. I think it was Thursday morning before Game 3, and tried to skate, but it was not good. And but credit to our medical staff, had me dialed in, and when it first happened, I didn't think I was going to be back this fast, for sure.
You were on a roll when it happened. Is it frustrating?
For sure. Obviously, you want to be in the cage there, being up 2-0 against Vegas. But these things happen. It was kind of a freak play, and I'm just glad I'm back now.
Will you be able to back up tomorrow? Will you be able to?
I hope so. Yeah, for sure.
You feel healthy enough doing up the games recently. Do you kind of feel a growing sense of synergy and cohesion with this group, perhaps at a level that we haven't seen?
Yeah. I feel like every time we had adversity, obviously the first game we were in complete control, and it kind of slipped away from us, but we didn't dwell on it. Obviously, you can kind of let that bleed into next game, and you're in a bigger hole. But it's been awesome to watch. Obviously, Game 2 is a big game for us, and then we come back home and pile a few goals in there yesterday. So we got to key in on tomorrow and take a stranglehold of the series.
Melvin, there's been a couple times after the team's won games we've kind of heard you cheering for Stu when he's been walking in the locker room. Can you kind of just talk about his performance last night and the last little bit here? I mean, he's had 3 shutouts in his last 4 months here.
He's been awesome, but it's no surprise to me. He always bounces back. There's going to be games where goals go in, and it's all about what you do next. And he always bounces back, and it's very impressive for a guy of his age. It's the stuff, the mental hurdles, the adversity he's gone through. It's crazy in his first few years, and how he always bounces back from it. So he's playing really well right now, and I know he's looking to keep it going.
Calvin, he always says nobody forced me to become a goalie. You probably think the same way. Goalies are always scope. Nobody when you were younger forced you to become a goalie, so it's part of the job description. Goals go in and fans say, "How come you look that way?"
Yeah, for sure. I always say it's never as good as it seems, it's never as bad as it seems. But I guess the goalie is always the center of attention, and I guess he might like that as a kid. But as we get to this level, there's obviously a little bit more of a level of pressure. But no, it's been great. It's been fun to watch him, and he looks very calm in there.
Coming off a really nice performance, kind of feel the team is at, because you often hear various teams say, you have to get better as the playoffs continue. Do you feel like that's the case for your team?
You obviously want to get better at any point during the season. I think we touched on it a little bit. You got to find different ways to win the playoffs, and we capitalized on the opportunities we had last night. I thought our first and third were pretty good. And we have an opportunity to take care of home ice here and go up 3-1, and the sense of urgency is really high.
So you guys had 5-on-5 goals yesterday. The 5-on-5 play has been quite consistently high, throughout the playoffs here. What do you see in the 5-on-5 play specifically this time around than maybe years past in the playoffs?
Well, I think there's kind of less and less power plays consistently, at least throughout the course of a series, and if you want to get deep into the playoffs and eventually win a Stanley Cup, you have to have your 5-on-5 game at the forefront, and I think that's something we've kind of learned from last year, and obviously we're having some success, and that's going to have to continue if we want to continue to advance.
So goals are supposed to be harder to come by in the playoffs, but your team's goals per game is spiked by almost a goal in the postseason. Why does that happen?
I don't necessarily have an answer for you there. I think we kind of have close to our full roster. Obviously, we really didn't have that until a couple games into the playoffs, and that could be a part of it. I think guys obviously are bearing down and understanding how hard it is to score, how hard it is to get chances, and when you do get those chances, you want to make sure you put them away. So, maybe a little bit of desperation.
A little greasier, maybe.
Yeah, you got to go to the net. Like I said, chances are hard to come by, and the closer you are to the goal, the better opportunity you have for the puck to go in. So, guys going to the net hard always helps.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is such a special player, especially this time of year.
I don't know. I've heard it probably the last 24 hours. The term Swiss Army knife, so I'll just continue to repeat it. He's a player that is very versatile. Obviously, he sees the ice well. Has good poise out there, can make plays, and he's had a really, really good playoffs. He's had an even better series. So, if we can continue to get that type of game from him, obviously that helps our team greatly.
It's lots of potential on a goal in the Canadian market. What have you seen from Stuart and how he's navigated his roller coaster this season?
Yeah, he's. I mean, it's obviously been talked about. It's very similar to last year. He seems to have a lot of confidence. Obviously, rolling right now, having 3 shutouts in 4 games, that would give any goalie confidence. And he was huge for us last game. When we needed him, and we needed him probably more than we would have liked to. So, if he can continue playing the way he's playing down the stretch, the rest of the series into the playoffs, we really, really like our chances.
Andrew, how would you describe the work of your defensemen and what they've done without Mattias in the lineup, especially?
They've been great. Obviously, probably. Klinger coming back in, has really helped. Really moving the puck well, skating well. Smart player. But all the guys really. Stetch coming in. He has good feet, good puck skills. Not afraid to make plays. So, the D's been really good. They've been desperate. They've been physical. And when you get those kind of things combining together, usually you're going to get good defensive performances.
Leads is something you guys obviously are working on from the playoffs. Last game, you have that 2-goal lead heading into the third. What do you think has maybe changed about your approach from early in the playoffs where you were struggling to hold on to those to the way you really leaned into it in this last game?
I think it's kind of sticking to it. We had the lead for a reason. You don't need to switch anything up. Maybe those high-risk plays aren't the best thing to do, but I think just sticking to it, keeping things simple, and not really forcing things.
Stay in that same role, Bob.
2 for Trent. Trent, you come in, you didn't get a chance to play much in the regular season. Now you're up and running. What's the experience been like so far playing playoff hockey here at Edmonton for the Oilers?
It's been great. I mean, obviously my first 2 games weren't the best, but we've been on an absolute roll since. So it's been fun. It's always fun coming here and playing. Gives a little bit more jump when you come to a building like this.
And the next question is about the guy next to you, because in Boston there's a statue for the only player that's ahead of him all time in points per game for defense. It's a little bit staggering when you think about it, isn't it? Just a thought on what you're watching on a nightly basis. Did you know he was this type of player when you were playing in the league?
Yeah, I did. Playing against him the few times he did, being on the other side or other division, everyone would talk about how good he was. I remember riding the bike in the weight room, and a lot of really good hockey players pumping his tires. So I've kind of known it. It's fun to watch live, and I know he's just going to get better. So,
left side, back row, Josh.
Evan, just on Stuart, I mean, being a goalie in a Canadian market can be, a real challenge, a lot of pressure. I'm just wondering how you've noticed what he's done with how he's managed the roller coaster of this season in these playoffs.
Yeah, he's been great. It's been fun to watch him play the past few games. He's getting back to his game, playing with confidence. Like you said, not an easy market to play in, but it's a market that, at least for myself and most guys here, like love playing in. Everybody loves playing here. The fans, the market's great. They're passionate. They just want the best for the team. So, they just bring out the best in you, and you gotta really stay even keel.
Right side, third row, Mark.
Trent, you played in Boston. They like a certain player there. They like a certain style, physical. They have always had physical teams. It's just the Bruin way. So you come here, you're playing the playoffs. Zach Hyman's leading the league in hits by a mile. Edmonton's playing a pretty physical hockey game. Is it a different team here than maybe watching them play in the playoffs? So you get a different view. Is there more Bruin maybe in this team than people outside this market might realize?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar. It's like blue collar cities, I guess they want to call it, and that's what they want to see. And Hymes has been a great example of that. I was sitting on the bench thinking how good of a player he was yesterday, and then he's +5 with 10 hits. It's pretty awesome to watch.
Left side, second row, Dan.
Evan, the defense has been playing pretty well, and we don't know exactly when Mattias Ekholm will come back, but it sure seems like he's close. How do you think he'll change the dynamic of that group, given how well the group is already playing?
Yeah, everybody's had to step up in his absence. I think everyone's done a good job, especially come playoff time. Yeah, but it's obviously to have a guy like Eki coming back, I'm not too sure when, but it makes it good. We don't have to rush him. We're playing great hockey. They'll need to rush him back, and I'm at full potential, but it'll be great to have him back when he's ready.
Stay in that same row, Jason.
Evan, this is 3 years for you that you really elevated your game in the playoffs. Mattias hasn't been there this year, and you're still dominant. The playoffs, everybody says, are harder. Why does it, from the outside, how does it almost look easier and more consistent for you at the toughest time of the year?
Yeah, I think everybody elevates their game. It's that time of year where, you get up excited, ready to play every single time. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just fun time of year. Everybody looks forward to playing these games, and I think all in all, the team steps up, and that makes individuals step up too.
Right side, front row, Slav.
Evan, you guys entered the playoffs. Obviously, Mattias hasn't played at all. John kind of jumped in after being out for a long time. Troy's jumped in partway through the playoffs. You guys have had 3 shutouts here recently, allowed 1 goal last night. What's kind of happened with the defense? Why have you guys been able to play so well despite the injuries and guys kind of coming in the lineup partway through the playoffs?
Like I said, everyone knew they had to step up when Mattias went out, and especially come playoff time again, you got to step up even more. So keeping things simple. Everyone's trying to make plays, not just result to flipping the puck out of our zone. We want to get into our forwards' hands and let them do the work.
Left side, third row.
Playoff runs are always filled with kind of some legend and lore, and can either of you speak to the origin or what it means to you, how Pink Pony Club has become your victory song?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to keep that one within the team there.
Yes, can you tell us, first of all, if you plan to play him tomorrow?
Still undecided. Like I said, he's still day-to-day, and we'll do what's best for our team and what's best for him.
And secondly, the fact that your team's playing well up 2-1 in this series, does that play a factor into when he comes back? If you guys were down 3-0, would you be more likely to put him back in tomorrow?
I don't know. I think that's a hypothetical question, so it's tough to answer that. I think we'd have more urgency, yes, it gives us some cushion, but I think with Eki being the player that he is and what he can provide us, that when he is healthy, we'll put him in that lineup. But right now, I don't know. That's tough to answer.
Right side, second row, Tim.
Yeah, Chris, you did a great job against the Vegas scores, and Meek, no goals, 2 assists. How much of your approach is trying to have him chasing around McDavid and/or Draisaitl and not being in the offensive zone as much?
I think it's important, no matter who it is. Good defense is a good offense. The more time you spend in the offensive zone, and you want to do that with any player, it's more important against the best players, and the other teams best offensive threats, make them defend as much as we can, and when they're not defending, we have to do a good job defending him. And while no better two guys than Draisaitl and McDavid to have on the ice to defend, because obviously those guys are pretty good players who spend a lot of time in the offensive zone. So I think with our team, since I started coaching, really my emphasis has been a good defense is a good offense. And the more time you can spend in the offensive zone, more time that puck's on your stick. And that goes for, not making blind passes, not giving away the puck, quality breakouts, stuff like that. I think that's really important. And of course, the defensive part of it, where you are checking, is important. But, I think with this team, we've got a lot of good offensive players. They like to have the puck. So I think that's part of the reason why we're a good defensive team.
Left side in the back standing.
Chris, just a question for Cam Tate here. There was a moment when Connor McDavid iced the puck on the power play, showed a little bit of disappointment in the moment, but just considering the way he responded, what did you think of the response of your captain in that moment to come back and have the performance that he did?
Yeah, on that play, I know exactly what the play was. In the second period, there's a pass, and it was to Vander. And Vander thought there was somebody to his right. So he let the pass go by, thinking the next guy was going to pick it up, and then obviously he wasn't quite there, and it went for icing. So it was just a play that happens. And anytime you're on the power play, you want it to click and execute and not icing the puck. But you saw Connor's game, and yes, there was maybe a little frustration with that play at that moment, but he was able to put it aside and move on, and obviously later that period scored a huge goal to, lift our spirits going in after the second period after, it wasn't our best. But I think with all those good players, they're competitive, they want the best, and they're always striving for it.
Left side, second row, Jason.
Chris, in this series at 5-on-5, for the most part, maybe excluding the second period, you really kind of controlled it. What have you liked about your team's 5-on-5 game that's allowed you to have most of the possession or more of the possession?
I'm not certain about the possession time, offensive zone, defensive zone. But, going in the series, we knew Dallas is a very good rush team. They score over the last 2 years more than anybody. This year, only Vegas scored more goals off the rush. So we were familiar with what we needed to do to shut down another team's line, or not shut it down, but maybe slow it down. So that was on our minds from the Vegas series, and we just had to carry it over to the Dallas series. So, a lot of those key points of not allowing teams scoring off the rush is one, getting above, making sure you have good back pressure, D, have good gaps, and most importantly, just not giving away the puck. And that giving away the puck is usually at the offensive zone blue line on the rush, forcing things. And, I think our players, haven't been perfect, but overall, I think they've done a pretty good job at that.
Left side standing, Jim.
Connor Brown, is he out for tomorrow?
Connor Brown is out tomorrow.
How did you see the hit?
Maybe possibly the same way you saw it.
I thought it was a hard hit. Is that how you saw it?
Hard would have been part of my answer, yes.
And not clean is the second part?
Those are your words, not mine.
And can Calvin Pickard back up tomorrow night?
We believe that he's very close, and there's a good possibility that he's on our bench tomorrow.
Over to Derek.
Chris, on that same topic, can you just maybe give us a thought on, you may not be here without Calvin, and how he kind of jumped in and how well he played, and unfortunately got hurt, but just a thought on his play and how much he meant to this run.
Tremendous support to our team. Not only, I'll get to the on ice, but a guy that's very popular in the room, good support guy, a lot of energy, all that. So that's part of it. But the other part, obviously, is the on ice, and that's very important. And seeing it not only this season, but last year. Last year in the Vancouver series, this year coming in the LA series, and put together 6 quality starts. Definitely the biggest one, the last one, where I feel we were outplayed by Vegas in that game too, and we're able to hold on and win that game in overtime, and gives Stu some time to refocus, work on some technical things, and obviously, you know, Stu's come back to playing the way we expect him to. So what Pick's done, we obviously appreciated it and was able to just allow everyone to reset and get us winning again.
We'll take 2 more. Left side, front row, Ryan.
Just really quick before my other question, with Brown out and Ekholm maybe, would you consider an 11-7 formation if Ekholm is potentially coming back?
Yeah, no, with Ekholm coming back, that's quite a possibility that we would run that. Now, if Eki's in the lineup, we're also considering going 12-6. So I think we could do either one.
Holding on to leads was work in progress through these playoffs. Going into that last game, you had a 2-goal lead, and you went a little bit more, like you put McDavid and Draisaitl together, maybe got a little bit more aggressive with it. Was that a strategy to make sure your team was still pushing for more? I mean, you ended up getting a bunch more. So what went into that decision of leaning into it offensively with that combination?
Well, we needed a reset. We needed to change things up from the way things were going in the second period. But I also wanted guys who have been playing together and also that I'm familiar with that can push play, can play more in the offensive zone. And we had some lines, you know, the Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Kane line has been really good. Obviously, McDavid and Leon and Perry have been good throughout the playoffs. So with those 2 lines, spending a little more offensive zone, and then the other lines can follow up. And I just felt that we needed some more push from our team. And yeah, it was nice to see that we did have some, and it started off right from the first shift.
Last one, left side, second row, Dan.
Chris, obviously the defense has been playing pretty well without Mattias, and whenever he can get in, we all know he's a good player, but is there any kind of concern about kind of messing up a good thing, or how you kind of work that around with him coming back into the line?
Yeah, no, I don't want to take anybody out. It's a tough situation, and same thing when we changed up our forwards. You know, we took out Arvidsson, and Arvidsson had been playing pretty well. We felt that our team needed something at that moment, and yeah, unfortunately, he had to be the guy, and not that there was anything against his game. It was just a change. And with our defense right now, the 6 are playing extremely well. And yeah, it's a difficult situation to do. And, you know, if you go with 11-7, 7 defensemen, the rotation, the rhythm, it changes. But also, you might have to take out somebody that doesn't deserve to take out. So it's things that we're pondering right now.